Let's see. Hello?
Hey, yo. It's time.
No. Rocco, I can't. I just
Go
can't.
on, Harry. The people need you.
It's just been so long. What if I don't have what it takes anymore?
Sometimes you gotta dig down deep and find that fire burning inside. Thrill of the fight is a tough game, and if anyone can do this, it's you. You gotta get the eye of the tiger, kid.
Kid? I'm like almost 40 though.
That's enough excuses. Put on the headset and win this thing.
Well, I mean, I'm not really winning anything. It's more of a review, but... My name is Ari with FitPro VR, and this is the thrill of the fight. So I'm constantly bombarded with people in the comment section screaming at me that Thrill of the Fight is the only fitness game out there that you need, and all other games must bow in its presence.
Nigh shall supernatural and Beat Saber bear witness to the awesome glory that is Thrill of the Fight. Peer into the eternal void and glimpse the serpent.
I think I got a little carried away with that last part. But yeah, there's so many reviews on the Thrill of the Fight already, but I've decided to make this video anyway. And we're gonna call it the only Thrill of the Fight review you will ever need to watch ever. Many years ago, I was a fighter. I had 3 amateur MMA fights, and I won all 3, and then I retired because my neck hurt all the time. Since then, I've just kind of kept in basic contact with combat sports. My son competes in Thai boxing. I wrote my master's thesis on science-based strength and conditioning methods for combat sports. So it's time to dust my gloves off and jump into the ring with you guys. But let's roll some montage footage. Come on, it's a boxing game.
I ran up a check, I might do it again. Enemies close, had me thinking they're friends. 10 toes down, I'll be free until the end. Crib outside the city.
Our journey begins in the heart of Nashville, Tennessee, home of Billy Ray Cyrus, Paul Dennis Reed, and Taylor Swift, among others. Overlooking the beautiful... sorry, not that Nashville. No, not that one either. Aha, that's the one. Overlooking a beautiful, adjacent parking lot, I guess? Thrill of the Fight developer Sea Lost Interactive is a small ragtag crew of... Guys, I'm gonna be honest, I really couldn't find anything about this developer. Not like a single f***ing fact. I found some of their LinkedIn profiles, but when it comes down to it, do you really care? It's not exactly Industrial Light and Magic, so let's just move on to the game. The Thrill of the Fight is a boxing simulator that gives you the taste of a smelly, stinky inner-city gym without all the humidity and toxic masculinity that goes with it. For training, you'll have access to a heavy bag to measure your power, a speed bag to keep your rhythm in check, a boxing dummy to practice your aim on knockout spots, and your double end bag for reaction timing and side-to-side practice. These are all tools that you would find in a boxing gym to keep their fighters razor sharp. But in Thrill of the Fight, they're kind of just for show. They don't really do much. And none of the things you do on it actually translate to the game itself. The reason actual boxers use this kind of stuff is to develop their skills, their punching power, their speed, without actually having to take shots to the head. CTE's a bitch. So if it were up to me, we could just ditch all this stuff. It's really pretty useless. One thing that they could put in this for like part 2 or an update is mitt holding. The game Knockout League has a superior training program of mitt holding where you actually get to practice real combinations against a coach. It's hard as shit, but it will help you get up to speed on your punches. In fact, the pad holding in Knockout League is better than that game itself. The game itself is kind of stupid. Something like this should absolutely be a part of the Thrill of the Fight. I mean, you have a coach, you have a gym, you just need to get some big fat guy to hold mitts for you. It's actually upsetting that a mitt man isn't in this game. You would think that's an easy fix. But out of all the extra stuff, the double end bag is really the only useful thing. But everything else, like the heavy bag and the speed bag, they don't really mimic the real-life counterparts enough for you to actually use them. I could hit a speed bag all day long, but a VR speed bag I can't do for more than like 4 punches. So beyond the training tools of the gym, you have a few extra spooky characters. Ooh. And they help you practice some more of the technical aspects of boxing. First, you have Zombie Joe, to practice endurance. The problem here is that they don't really give you any ideas of what to do. So the first few times I fought him, I just kind of stood there and got bitten over and over and over again. He doesn't respond to blocks because, well, he bites you, he doesn't punch you. And punching him is pretty ineffective. So basically, to beat Zombie Joe, you have to have your footwork on point, and you need a lot of space to work Zombie Joe. If you're in a smaller area, I'd say skip it. So labeling him endurance, I think, is a mistake. Had they called it footwork or ring awareness, it would probably make more sense. Then there's the Pumpkinhead Joe, whose head crumbles after a few shots, and you're meant to work his body on this part. I honestly think he's the best of the spooky fighters, as you get a good chance to work in body shots, and not a lot of people like to take body shots, so otherwise, there's nothing real special here about him. Lastly, there's Ghost Joe, where you can practice your counterpunching as he phases in and out of existence. If he's dark, all your punches will go right through him. If he's light, your gloves will make contact. It's fine, but you can't really work more than 2-punch combos on him, and it gets a little frustrating to fight. When I used to fight, I was never much of a counterpuncher anyways, so for me, I didn't really enjoy him as much. It's good for your reaction time though. So finally, we've come to the game itself, where you work your way up the ranks as a ham and egger all the way up to your championship fight. It's something like 7 or 8 boxers. There's no real story here because this is a boxing simulator, not a boxing game. So this is the part where I'm supposed to fall in line and tell you that The Thrill of the Fight is the best game ever made and the best workout you'll ever get. It'll leave you completely dead no matter what you do, and there's nothing that can top it. The reality is, you get what you get out of it, and it's kind of easy to spam the shit out of the game if you really wanted to. You can also seriously injure yourself or your kitchen table if you're not careful. Everyone boxes different, and when I say different, I mean wrong. Everyone boxes wrong in this game. I've seen like 2 people on YouTube that actually box the right way when playing The Thrill of the Fight. That's no shade on anyone, but there's a reason that when you see people who don't know how to fight, it looks a certain way. So let's talk technique. You have about 5 punches in your arsenal and about 4 defensive maneuvers. So it's time for a Fit Pro VR crash course in boxing. First, there's your jab. Your jab is kind of your warm-up punch. It's to feel out the person. It's not really meant to do any damage, just kind of get them off their toes and set up other punches. Then you have your cross. This is where you turn your hips and pivot your back foot, and this is one of your more damaging punches. I love the cross. You go right across the street, straight down the middle, in between your opponent's hands. Then you have your hook. So if your opponent's hands are on the front of his face, you bring the hook around the side to hit right behind the ear, behind the jaw. That's your sweet spot, baby. Then your uppercut for when their elbows are flared out nice and wide, landing right on the chin. And then your overhand right for when there's nothing else to do and you want to just fucking feel like Chuck Liddell. You come over the top of everything and put him on his ass. I love the overhand right. It's so bad. After that, you have your slip, your roll, your duck, and your block. Now you are a boxing expert. But the reality is, defensive stuff is pretty useless here. There's only going to be one real thing you're going to do, and it's mostly going to be block. You'll notice I didn't say evade or lean back in this, because when you lean back in this game, the game interprets it as you stepping back because it reads your Oculus as your footwork. So when you lean back, the opponent always comes forward, so don't lean back. The matches themselves fail to meet the simulation part of a boxing simulator. The AI is pretty stupid, and they don't really throw anything logical. Like I said earlier, you can kind of spam your way through most fighters, and that might happen if you start getting tired and really want that belt. The opponents mostly just throw combos here and there, they land a lot of lucky hits, and have some really overpowered punches as the difficulty increases. Each fighter has a specific skill set and style, and also a few weaknesses. Some are power punchers, some only respond to punches to the body. But honestly, I'm not really impressed with the AI in this game. Every fighter is kind of stupid. It feels like sometimes they're just more moving punching bags than anything else. But I know what you're thinking. Ari, who gives a shit about real boxing? I'm here for the workout. To which I say, okay. What? I'm not gonna argue with you. You're here to work out. So as mentioned before, people are always raving about this as a workout and being the most hardcore thing that has ever happened to anyone who's ever played VR, and anyone who plays it will die of exhaustion and get the best workout and lose 100 pounds in the first week. Okay, that's kind of an exaggeration, but People still rave about this game. First, let's look at the two types of workouts you can get. You have your aerobic and your anaerobic. Aerobic, or aerobic, relies on oxygen. So anything that you do at a slow and steady pace, your body's providing oxygen to fuel the workout. Then you have your anaerobic. This is where your body cannot keep up with the amount of oxygen needed to perform your workout, thus relying on glycogen in your blood and your muscles to fuel the workout. It goes a lot faster and you burn out much quicker. Most people are going to go into this game like a life or death fight, and that's why you likely feel like this game is the best workout of all time. You're completely wasted, breathing battery acid with a big stupid smile on your face, but I think this is where people actually get it wrong. If you're fighting every boxer like a rabid badger, you're tapping into your anaerobic system, and you're not going to last very long. But if you approach this game with more style and finesse and just smooth it out, you'll likely get a really good workout. Not the barn burner that you were expecting, but a nice, steady, even workout. The good news is that either one of these is okay, but in the all-out assault version, you're likely to fall into poor form as the match continues, get tired easy, and it's more likely that you're going to injure yourself. You might overextend your punches, you might pull a muscle in your back, and for some weird reason, your biceps are going to be really sore after this. I don't know why, I'm still trying to figure it out. So let's compare the data from two types of workout and also measure it against traditional bag work. Here's the measured, technique-driven approach. Here's the all-out assault approach. And here's some bag work. So each of these produces its own kind of workout. It just depends on what you're looking to get out of it. The more you do it, the better you'll get at it, and more likely than not start falling into the more measured approach anyway, because you'll learn that that blitz approach isn't really sustainable. But if you're on a time crunch, I mean, kill the guy. Thrill of the Fight is also non-rhythm based, which means you set your own pace. Another advantage it has over rhythm games like Beat Saber and Supernatural. So you ready for my final thoughts? This is definitely the premier fitness game on the Oculus Quest 2. You're not going to find a better one. And if you do, send it my way. I'm always excited to try new things. And while it is the best of the best, there's still room for it to improve and become the king of all games. My name is Ari with FitPro VR and
And don't forget to get your workout.